Is this good news for Tesla stock? Tesla just increased the prices for a Model 3 in the US by $250, and it also did the same thing for the Model Y, also $250. Steven, of course, is excited because this does not fit into his demand narrative. Of course, he's being funny there. And in China, the price actually went up by a little bit more, $290. At first, I was looking at that and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is bullish, really. I think this is just Tesla trying to tell consumers, hey, look, if you're waiting to buy a Tesla right now, you may want to pull the trigger right now because the prices may actually go up instead of going down. But then I saw this, Tesla increased the price for the Model Y rear-wheel drive and long range in Denmark by $1,100. That's not a very tiny increase. However, Electric reports that Tesla did not increase prices for vehicles that are in inventory, that are new vehicles. In other words, the vehicles in the inventory are now discounted because the prices have not changed for these vehicles. Only if you order a new Tesla from Tesla's website, only then you pay more. Looking at the inventory in the US, the Model 3, some decreasing. The Model Y keeps going lower in the last few days, and the Model S Vivi X also saw some declines just now. In Europe, Tesla still has pretty high inventory and the Model 3 inventory keeps going up, but the Model Y is coming down, it appears. If you look at the stock today, you will think that investors are not happy because the stock is down. But if we compare it to the broad market, actually Tesla stock is doing quite all right today. It actually outperformed S&P 500 and the technology sector, but NASDAQ 100 did just a little bit better than Tesla. So overall, I would say investors are reacting to this slightly positively. Basically, no reaction. It is also important to note that in general, the auto inventory in the whole industry is going up, as you can see right here. It's about 22% year over year. And this is actually just hilarious. Ford has dropped the Mach-E prices by up to 8% or $4,000. It's almost like Farley, the CEO of Ford, was talking to himself here, saying, go read 1913. He said, I think what he's going to learn, he was speaking about Elon Musk back then, is that product freshness means a lot. The product gets commoditized and then you lose your pricing premium. That's a really dangerous thing. If you really think about it, I think to a certain extent, certainly, he was trying to tell Elon Musk, stop hurting us. Why are you doing this to us? Now we have to reduce prices, and instead of losing 40% from every EV sold, how much are we going to lose now? I don't want to think about it. I just want to think about how can we have Elon Musk stop decreasing his prices on his vehicles. I mean, look at what people are saying. The price cuts on the Tesla Model Y made it a no-brainer. The Ford isn't worth what they are asking versus the Model Y. It's just hard to justify buying a non-Tesla EV. And obviously, the competition is coming for the second place. Ford should be very careful. And if you thought that Tesla's inventory of just about 15 days in total is not great, well, Ford has 120 days for Mach-E. Ross Gerber cracked me up a little bit today. Car pricing is becoming like airline tickets, but prices are ultimately lower for EVs. Here's the latest data from Europe. It's actually looking pretty promising. Data is not out yet for Germany and the UK, but it's out for France, which looks pretty good for the first month of a quarter. I mean, look at the first month before in April of 2022. Yeah, there's a big difference, of course. Although October was pretty good, but January was not that good compared to October. But we are off to a good start here. Norway. Wow. You can't even see previous months here. Italy, great. Denmark, great. Sweden, great. Netherlands, great. Belgium, great. Austria, great. Spain, no data yet, and Portugal great, and other countries also look great. Now we wait for Germany and the UK. Two things I'm thinking about. Number one, it's going to be great, and that's why all of the sales are so much higher everywhere, or these smaller countries have much higher sales because there's just not that much demand in these other bigger countries. We'll see. This higher inventory would suggest that the sales from these other bigger countries, that data is not going to look as good. But you just never really know with Tesla for sure. On the flip side, these daily reporting countries are looking really good for these 6 countries. 4,400 deliveries would be a 1,500% year-over-year increase and a 118% quarter-over-quarter increase. Moving on, Piper Sandler reiterated an overweight rating on Tesla stock, but they did cut their price target from $300 to $280 to reflect information extracted from the latest filing from Tesla. Most investors will be unsurprised to learn that our 2023 to 25 estimates are moving lower to reflect price cuts and a coincident impact on margins. On the bright side, we think global average selling price could fall by $125 per unit every quarter for the next 2 years without impacting margins due to production credits under the Inflation Reduction Act. Generally, Alexander Potter from Piper Sandler is a pretty good analyst, especially on Tesla stock. Look at him buy Tesla stock left and right this whole time. His average return per rating from Tesla stock is 112%. From Drive Tesla Canada, we learned that Tesla is leasing this massive warehouse in Washington State. So, what do you think this means for Tesla's demand? Gary Black thinks that the recent increase in Tesla's pricing is a bit of a signal that Tesla Model 3 and Model Y margins are nearing a bottom. To me personally, it's a little bit weird. When I saw the increase for the Model Y long range, it used to be that you could say it's not $50,000. Now it is over that $49,000 mark, making it actually $50,000, which psychologically I think to consumers is a bit important. This is generally widely known, and Tesla of course knows about it too, so they must have a pretty good reason to actually do that. Another thing that this actually does, it makes this vehicle, this model, more attractive because now it does not look as expensive as it did before when we are comparing these two, although the difference is actually the same. But just because this one starts at 50,000 and this one is still under 50,000, it does feel like a bigger bargain now than before. In Europe, Tesla is leading the team with a motto of hyper growth for this year. This form has been going around today saying that the Tesla senior VP, Andrew Baglino, happily sold 10,500 shares of Tesla stock last week at $152.44, which is very close to the bottom that we just had. So someone is saying, wow, that's impressive. He was 7 cents away from the low of the day. If you look very closely at this form, you can see the date here, you can see the amounts. And while it looks like it's a lot of shares, actually, if you include all of the stock options that Andrew Baglino has, this is not going to be even close to 5% really. If you scroll down to the bottom here, you can see the explanation of responses. The transactions reported on this Form 4 were affected pursuant to a Rule 10b5-1 trading plan adopted by the reporting person on November 1st, 2021. Because this was a planned sale from such a long time ago, there's nothing here. Some Tesla stock investors for the first time are getting concerned about Tesla, although Sawyer is actually pretty excited still. He says there's a lot of things to be positive about. And that, for example, 2018, he says, was worse for Tesla. Today, Tesla has $22 billion in cash. Personally, because I'm buying more, I'm happy to see the stock actually go down. But if I was not buying more, then of course I would not be happy. But Tesla is just a very volatile stock. If you're not okay with volatility, then Tesla stock is probably not for you anyway. Tesla is actually fighting this misinformation. A fierce critic of Elon Musk and Tesla sued the billionaire for defamation in 2019. Musk elected to settle the case for $10,000. Tesla fights back and responds really strongly here. This article is biased and misleading. Mr. Hoffey accepted a $998 offer under California law. These offers are used to shift the cost of litigation to the losing party. If Mr. Houthi had not accepted it, he could have been on the hook for significant legal costs when he eventually lost. The offer expressly denied any liability by Mr. Musk. This was an admission of defeat by Mr. Houthi and his lawyers, not a victory. The most important thing that you have to know from this story is that he was shorting Tesla's stock, and he was doing that in early 2019. Early 2019 is when I bought Tesla stock, and that was, well, depending on when, for a little while, maybe he actually even made money, but if he held on to that position, oh, he would have lost everything. That whole story is a pretty long one. If you like, you may get into that. I'm not going to do that here. If you would like to access some exclusive videos as well as support this channel, there is a link to sign up for my Patreon down in the description below. My name is Matt Posius, and this video explains why Tesla board members are now buying more Tesla stock. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.